So you're playing Dynasty. I guarantee you're not using all of the features to the best of their ability. So I'm going to tell you what features that you are underutilizing in today's video, why you should use them, and how you should use them. So first, let's start with recruiting. So the big thing in recruiting that I feel like a lot of people don't do, maybe they don't know how to do, is that when you go over to prospect list, there are a couple of things that you can do here. It sorts by recommended. Recommended is not good. It does not show you everybody that is interested in you. It does not show you everybody that is good for your program. So the first thing you want to do is filter by stars. This will allow you to go through each and every position if you would like to. If you want to just sort by offer or whatnot, this is the best way to do it. However, on top of that, there are going to be specific players that you want in your offense. For me, I like east-west playmaker running backs. So the first thing I'm going to do is press Y or triangle if you're on PlayStation. That's going to take me to search. So here, you can change it to any position that you want to, right? This is how you sort position. You need to use the player search thing. It is by far the best thing. So you're going to do halfback, and then you can change all the play types. You can see all of them. So we're going to do east-west playmaker. And then you can put a minimum star rating. So if you were looking for 3 stars, you can do this. If you're looking for 4 stars, you can, keep it like that, and it'll only show you 4 stars. And then you can go interest in your school. So if you want it to be your top school, you want it to be your top 10, or you can do any. It doesn't matter. Let's say top 10. And then you can do any recruiting stage. Open means that they are open recruitment available to anybody. So then you hit search, and this is every single running back that fits that criteria in this system. This is going to help you find guys that better suit your play style rather than scrolling mindlessly through just layers and layers of recruits that you don't care about. And this is also going to show you the guys that are feasibly available to you. So you can also, change your search types as well and your filters to give you a better look. But that is essentially how you do that recruiting search, and it's going to help you put guys on your board that are going to essentially be better for what you're trying to do. The next thing that you're probably not doing that you definitely should be doing is formation subs. Now, for me, formation subs on offense, I don't use a ton, simply because you have enough time offensively to go in and put whoever you want in their pre-play. You can change packages with the right stick on formations. You can press Y and just manually input players in there. So, depending on how the game's going, I usually change things around. Defensively, however, I usually do not have enough time to do all of that, pre-snap. Once your opposing player picks the play, you have essentially 10 seconds, or you have 10 seconds from when the CPU deems you have 10 seconds. That's a lot of, adjusting to do in that amount of time. So what I do is I come to my defensive formation subs, and I have already preset every single advantageous matchup that I can have. So we're looking at the 3-4. I am looking for my best run defender. So for Monty Powell, he is a lurker. For Marquise Nicholas, he's also a lurker. So I'm going to look for somebody who I feel like defends the run better in Carson Dean. I'm going to put him in. So now I've made 1 of 50 subs. This is going to help you better defend against specific sets. Now, that doesn't take those guys out of, say you're in a 3-3-5 stack. Monty Powell's still going to be out there, right? He is the best defender for that situation. Same with nickel. So in nickel, I usually put my best coverage linebackers in because I'm going to run nickel more when the sticks are further away. So in the second and long, third and long. Same with dime. I'm putting my best coverage linebacker, my fastest linebacker, in this formation, regardless of what his overall is, because I need a specific skill set. If I am running dime, that is usually somebody who can cover a lot of ground, who can play, pass coverage really well. Formation subs are going to save your life defensively. It's going to put you in better positions to succeed. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize about formation subs is it doesn't take a lot of time to do. And it's going to save you from having bad players in positions they shouldn't be in on the football field. The other thing that I don't think people are understanding or utilizing enough is that you've got 4 games for every redshirt, which means if you redshirt a guy, so let's say I'm going to redshirt Gabriel Joyner. He can play in 4 games still. That is time that he is able to get XP, So let's say it's late in the game, you're beating up on an opponent. You put him in the game. He's now able to get XP that's going to help him upgrade his attributes during the season and in the off season. But you're not going to waste this red shirt if you don't play him in more than 4 games. So if you're strategic about it and your team is really good and you find yourself in a decent amount of fourth quarters that you're winning big in, you can have it so that everybody on your team, so a guy like Shane Honeycutt, who is redshirted right now, I can have him come in up to 4 games before he loses his red shirt after that 4th one. Which means that if I need to, I can put him in, or if I want to, get him some of that experience. But I would absolutely use the 4 games, for guys that you're redshirting, especially for freshmen, in games that you are winning handily. There's no reason for you to have starters in when you could be getting young guys experience that they are going to need in the offseason. So that's super important to me, something that I do a lot, and I think that a lot of people should do it more. So the other thing is actually in-game, and I feel like a lot of people don't know how to get to this. So when you are in the play call screen, you're just going to press down on the right stick that says coaching ADJ period. It's got that coaching adjustments, but it's abbreviated. This is where you can make adjustments to how your team plays. You can do this offensively and defensively. Offensively, I don't use these a ton just because you're going to control more players than not. So it's really going to adjust how your CPU players, the AI plays. But the big thing here in this coaching adjustment is that you want auto base protection on. You want it to be on base. Obviously, you can choose which you want it to be, but you want it to be on base. And the important thing here is that the game has auto-designed half slides, full slides for certain play calls in every single formation. What people don't understand and what gets them in trouble is that if a blitz is coming from the opposite direction, your offensive line is not automatically going to line up to that blitz. It's not going to automatically block the blitz how you would like it to, because it's not in base protection. If you're in base protection, it essentially means that the offensive line is blocking 5-on-5, so to speak. They're taking their drop steps back. It's like a traditional pass set. If you set it to off, it is going to be whatever the play is. So if you're running a play action that has a half slide right, it is going to be that unless you change it pre-snap. You can change all of these pre-snap. But base protection pre-snap is really nice because then you don't have to worry about it. If it's empty, they're going to block like it's empty. They're going to take wide kick steps. There's going to be wide rushing lanes, so it's going to open up for loopers and stunts more often. Half slide right, that means every single play that you run is going to have a half slide right. Every single pass play, I should say. The run plays obviously have their own blocking setup. Full slide right, all of your offensive linemen are going to slide to the right, and you can do this left. Base is just going to solve a lot more problems for you, create a lot fewer issues. Because if you line up in base and then you see a blitz coming, all you have to do is press the right stick to the left or right, and you're going to get a half slide that way. It is that simple. So if you line up in base, it's one move of the joystick, left or right. That's it. That's all you need to do. But if you line up in right and the blitz is coming from the left, then you're going to do 2 sticks to the left, and it's you got to change and adjust everything. Having it line up in base, super, super simple. When you line up defensively, the coaching adjustments here are going to be a much bigger point of emphasis because these are how your AI do things. And if you want your AI to do things a certain way, you have to go in here and do it. So you can, and you have a lot of control too, which I really like, but a lot of people don't know these exist. So cornerback matchups, if you want to do by overall, you can do it by overall. If you want to do it by speed, you can do it by speed. So if you're playing somebody that is a deep ball spammer and they're trying to line things up in a way that is going to take advantage of your your slower cornerbacks, you can set it up that your fastest corner will always take their fastest corner. It does create some weird matchups, but it is a possible fix for you. You can also do it by height. If they got somebody who's spam catching contested catches down the field, you can put a taller corner on them. You can do it by route running. You can do it by depth chart. There's just a bunch of stuff. Now, balanced is just regular, normal gameplay settings. So it's going to be, your number one corner is probably going to line up on the right more often than not. Your number 2 corner is probably going to line up on the left more often than not. That's going to be how that balance goes. Defensive motion. So if you want to disguise your defense, you can have it so that the motion does not so like guys do not move in response to motion. So it disguises the defense. Now this is, I mean, it really doesn't do much for you other than it'll mess up some run fits if you don't motion with it. I usually keep it default. I think that's the best setting for it. But if you want to disguise a bunch of stuff, you can keep it disabled and keep the, make the guy you're playing super confused. Option read keys are super important. So you'll have option pitch, RPO read, and RPO pass. The way that these work, and it says it on your aggressive, like it'll say it on the box to the right. If you go aggressive, it's going to focus on the dive option. The QB will be left open. This is every single time your defense is going to play it like this. If you do conservative, you're going to focus on the QB. So the dive will be open every single time. If you go balanced, it'll probably be 50-50, something like that. It's the same way with the option pitch key. If you go aggressive, they'll focus on the QB. The running back will be open. If you go conservative, they'll focus on the running back. QB will be open. So switch those around. It's conservative, and then aggressive is the QB is left open. On the RPO pass key, if you go aggressive, the same thing is going to happen. It's going to be the QB is left open on the option. Conservative, so this is different than if it's just a regular read option, because if you don't know, if you're running an RPO bubble out of some sort of trips formation, if you hold A as the quarterback, you can actually keep that, which is where this comes in. So this would be whether or not you play the quarterback or play the dive on that specific play. The RPO pass key is where it's a little bit different. So if you go aggressive, you're going to focus on stopping the run, which is going to open up passing lanes behind you or on the outside. If you go conservative, you're going to focus on pass coverage, and then run gaps are going to be left open. So however you want to play based off of the tendencies of the person you're playing should determine what you choose here. But I wouldn't just keep it on balance, because then as a user, you have no idea what's coming. You would like to be in the know so that you can adjust and you can know where you're going and not be essentially left in the dark. Then obviously you have your strip ball and tackling. Those are pretty self-explanatory. But you can also change your safety alignment and how much your zones actually drop. You can make flats 30 yards down the field. If you want your flats to be 30-yard drops, you can do that. Now, this could be for when you are in the last play of the game and you don't want to run three-man up deep. You want to run some sort of zone concepts. You could have this be the case and have everybody play it at 30 yards and just do that, right? It's up to you. Or if somebody's spamming quick outs, you could play them at 0. Completely up to you and how you want to play it, but it does genuinely change the depth that your linebackers, your corners, your safeties get on their drops. So if you wanted to, you can't change like deep thirds, but if you wanted to make hooks, 10 yards, 15 yards, have them sit there, you could do that. Safety depth, safety width, and safety midpoint. So this is going to change basically how your safeties align. If somebody's running crazy on you, like just gashing your defense on the ground, you can change your safety depth to have them play closer to the box. You can have them play as close as 5 yards. I wouldn't recommend that because it's opening you up to things down the field. But if you want to play close, play close. If you want to play, a little prevent, a little deep to really keep the top on the defense, you can absolutely do that as well. Depth is going to change, width is going to change how tight they are. So spread, this is going to be, kind of what you run against those wide offenses like your TCUs, your Tennessees, those widespread offenses that kind of give you a headache. But you can pinch them. So if somebody's beating you over the middle, if somebody's beating you with the inside handoff, you can pinch. So wide is not... Yes, wider. Okay. So it goes spread and then wider. So if you really want to, play on the sidelines, you can play on the sidelines. The midpoint is essentially where the safeties line up from. So if you want to do the left, you would do the left hash. That would be the midpoint. So at that point, one of your safeties would be playing pretty center cut of the field, while the other one is lined up basically on the left sideline. Then the right side is wide open, right? So that is going to be how that changes. This is going to be the strength. This is going to be the weak hash. you would have a field side. So if you're playing a team that loves to, take advantage of the open field on the wide side, you would do that. If you have someone that likes to go into the boundary, you would do that. So there's plenty of things that you can do to change exactly what you're doing. But another thing that you want to utilize are stunts. I feel like stunts don't get enough love because a lot of times your pass rush is not going to get pressure. So you're going to hold down whatever button of the play you want, and then you're just going to pick a pass rush. So as you can see, my spread alignment safeties are super wide right now. My hook drop curls are 15 yards. They'll play at 15 yards. It kind of is. I have a screwy setup going on right now. But, so like say here, I'm going to call cover 3 Sky. And look at these different options you have. The 2-man games don't work super well. I like running the 4-man games. My favorite is this El Paso. The defensive ends are going to loop in. The defensive tackles are going to, move outside, and that's going to allow the edge rusher to potentially get the inside guard to take that tackle out while also blocking the tackle. So, like, essentially, number 58 in the ideal world gets blocked by number 75 as my right end comes looping in over top. Now they're running a screen, so it doesn't really necessarily work. But you got to utilize stunts in order to generate pressure. It's a great way to get quick pressure, especially when you're having trouble getting one-on-one wins against your quarterback or against the opposing offensive line. So that is the big thing that I think that in terms of actual gameplay, not just adjustments, that people need to utilize more. It also will allow you to, just switch things up a little bit, keep you on your toes instead of just lining up 4-on-4 or 4-on-5 and just trying to win. You can get some quick wins, get some pressure on the quarterback, make him, escape the pocket and whatnot. But those are the 6 things that I think you could be doing in your dynasty to, make it easier on yourself, give yourself a little bit more roster control and have to manage a few more things and whatnot. Just make the overall experience more enjoyable. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. I appreciate both. But that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you on the flip.